Welcome to Jen Care's Live Talks powered by Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors, the show that brings the community to you Mondays at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Here we engage in tough talks and meaningful conversations, featuring guests that help us stay in the know. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to like and follow our page. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to never miss a show. Now, here's your host, Jen Cares.
Hey y'all, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Welcome to Jen Cares Live Talks powered by Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors. I am your host, Jen Cares, the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. Here at Jen Cares, we specialize in bringing the community to you, so we are so excited to be back. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and share. So first, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors. One of our sponsors is Swag Her Magazine, and they have an amazing deal going on. They invite you to be a part of their Intentional Women Collective directory listing. This is for women who want to be seen, shared, and celebrated. This upgrade listing gives you everything in their $25 package, plus premium visibility across Swag Her platforms. The spotlight listing includes being featured in their directory profile. It's a polished Swag Her design profile that stands out in the directory. It includes a photo, a mini bio, talks about your business, your website, and all of your links to direct people your way. They also have a social media spotlight post where you'll receive a dedicated Swag Her spotlight on their Instagram and Facebook, introducing your business to our audience. It's the high value visibility at the holiday friendly price still. With the directory launch tag, you'll also be tagged as you create posts on social media, helps you to just get connected with some new faces, and we all love that, right? You'll also receive a 2026 directory badge, which is a custom featured badge that you can add to your social media, website, media kit, email signature, because credibility matters, okay? You'll also have future consideration for features to be in an interview here on Swag Her, travel books, events, panels, and more. This is perfect for the woman who wants their story to be told and not just their name listed. This sale does end soon, so be sure to visit their website, www.swagher.pr.com. Oh, they're going to have a good time over there. So be sure to check them out. But let's get to really gritty of tonight. I can't wait. So I'm really excited. I got to calm myself down a little bit because this is our first episode of the year. And I have the luxury of having Dr. George James. I'm going to give you a little back history before I bring him up. I went to school for social work. And then when I moved back to Philadelphia, I wanted to pursue clinical counseling and psychology. I went to LaSalle. But I can't tell you how encouraging it is to see people that look like you in the field. See, in my undergrad, there was Joyce Bell at Salisbury University, and we had Dr. David Olson at UMES. But then at LaSalle, I met Dr. Erica Evans Weaver, is her name. Erica Evans Weaver, yes. And I was in seventh heaven just to be able to see someone that looked like me, that was in the field that I wanted to go in, to give me a different perspective on my lessons, right? And from conversations and lessons, Dr. George James came up, right? So then this is years ago before I ever met him, right? And I was like, to see him on a big screen, I was like, this is amazing. Then a year or so ago, I was on a conference with She Shines by not Dr. yet, okay, Robin Maddox. And I was on a panel with him, and it just really made my day. All in all, now I have him today, and I'm very, very excited. So help me welcome the amazing Dr. George James. When I get it right, here we go. Hello. Did I do? I didn't do it. Hold on. There we go.
I mean,
there we go. Cool. How you doing?
Oh, Jennifer, thank you so much for the kind words. And you never know where your journey is going to bring you and how you might impact people. I didn't even remember or realize that part around LaSalle. And I remember when I was teaching there for a number of years, and I remember Dr. Erica and all that. So it's a pleasure that we have shared the stage before, and we get to do that again. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so friends, as always, I have questions prepared, but be sure to drop your comments below. If you come back, drop them below, and I'll make sure I get them to who they can go to. But here at Jen Cares, we always start with a quote of the day. And you might be familiar with this quote, Dr. James. The quote says, when we give ourselves permission to fail, we at the same time give ourselves permission to excel. Again, when we give ourselves permission to fail, we at the same time give ourselves permission to excel. And that's Eloise Ristad. What does that quote mean to you?
Oh, it means so much. One, I put it in the book because I think so many times we feel like we have to be perfect or we have to get it right or that we can't fail. And look, truthfully, some of us, we've been through some things where we have to be so buttoned up and we have to get things so right that it feels like we have to live that way. And this
Mhm.
really was a reminder for me, and I hope for others, that once you say it's okay that I might not go perfectly or I might not win or I could fail, you freed yourself. And that
Mhm.
opens up so many opportunities. And I think that's when we do really excel.
You start with nuggets already, you free yourself. And sometimes I don't think we realize that we are bound in it, right?
Yeah.
Because we get into that survival mode, we're just doing things, and we don't even know that we need to be free.
No, we don't.
Friends, as always, I got my notebook and paper because I'm sure he's about to drop some gems. Y'all better get your notebooks and paper. Because I got to now consider what are some other areas I need to be freed in. And it's the perfect time as we're starting the beginning of the year of some things where we want to get ourselves together.
It is. I mean, that's a really great point, and it's something that I have to, continue to ask myself, because I know we might see people, work with people, have people in our family, people that we interact with, and you can
Yeah.
see that they're stuck, bound, tight in so many
Mhm.
ways, and that's part of like why I feel like my work is to try to help people release, become aware, then
Mhm.
release, and then be able to move forward.
Become aware and release. Good, good, good. Okay, I got to take some notes from what you already said. So, can you please open us up with sharing a little bit about who Dr. George James is? I'm, yes.
Yes. So, I'm going to tie it into like what you said. I've been fortunate to be a professor for, probably over 16 plus years, maybe even longer than that. And one of the joys has been being able to be sometimes the first Black male therapist professor that people have, whether that's people of color or not. So, that's a part of my story that I love. I'm also licensed therapist for the past 25 years. And my journey has brought me to work with individuals, couples, leaders, entertainers, athletes. And then that led to a whole bunch of other stuff. And where I am right now, I'm fortunate and blessed enough to do a lot of speaking engagements across the country. And as of this past weekend, internationally. And also, I get to do some consulting for family owned businesses and family owned uh, foundations and their family dynamics, the stuff that kind of get in the way. You know how our families can get in the way, but imagine when you're doing business with our family and in conflict. So I get to help them untangle that a bit.
I like it. I like it. So, what caused you to even go into this field?
I think growing up, I grew up in a household of faith, and that's still important for me. And I think just seeing how people talked about God and relationships, and sometimes it just didn't match up. And at least what I thought, like what a good, healthy, happy relationship would be, I would see folks in the church, for instance, like not sit next to each other. And that just kind of messed with me. So I think some of that was there wanting to really help people in their relationships. I
Mhm.
think I've always been in like leadership roles. So I think that was also there. And I think a byproduct that came of it is I learned so much more about myself.
Mhm.
It actually pushed me to ask questions of my family. And so I learned more about like who I am, not only from an individual, but from a systems perspective
Mhm.
that I'm so grateful for. So I think all those things brought me there. But really, I think it's been a part of my purpose to really help people and be of impact to people and my own family.
Gotcha. Now, you said something that stuck out to me. You said you would see people and they're not sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that you do pay attention unconsciously and consciously. And when you see it, it could be nothing going on,
Right.
but sometimes it could be something going on, right? But it's always still a good area to speak on and to educate on because specifically in the church world, it'll be a standard and you're supposed to live up to it. Be like, well, A and A don't match up with each other. I know B supposed to come next, but I'm still stuck at A. And trying to learn the dynamics of what family looks like. It can be chaotic, it can be amazing, it can be lonely, all the feels. But yeah, pretty
No,
cool to
and,
hear.
and I think like that's, in places of faith, in places of worship, we think like people are supposed to be perfect, and they're not. They're sometimes
Mhm.
are dealing with a whole host of things. And I think that was also what got me into this work is that it's okay to name it. It's okay to talk about it.
Mhm.
It's okay to get help and support. And I think like, especially throughout my career, like the combination of prayer and therapy, right? And thankfully
Yeah,
now that's more accepted, right? Like 20
yeah,
plus years in, I think people can see like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But when I was first starting, that was not the case.
yeah, yeah.
So I think like, yeah, you can see those things and maybe there is some trouble, or maybe there's even trauma or difficulty, or
Yes.
maybe it's like it's a rough patch, or it's a moment.
Mhm.
They just had an argument that day. But
Yeah.
all of that I think added to like my thought of like, oh, maybe I can be of help.
I like it. It's really important to name it because sometimes we'll just go along and not know what it is. It's like if you don't know what the diagnosis is, you don't know how to treat it. So you have to go and find out what's going on so you can name it so you know what you're dealing with. But that other part of how prayer and therapy can really go hand in hand and bless your life if you try it.
Yeah, there's so many combinations now that just weren't there, like therapy and yoga, or therapy and
Mhm, mhm.
exercise, or therapy and faith.
Yeah.
Like that stuff, like is I love how the field has evolved. It still has a long way to go, but
Mhm, mhm.
it's definitely much further than what it was.
Cool, cool, cool. So one of your missions is to help people move through life challenges, and we're all about that over here, trying to normalize the importance of one addressing mental health. But one of the pieces you shared was, or a post on your website, through my research and things, is clarity, connection, and courage. But what does clarity, connection, and courage look like? It kind of goes with that name it piece.
Yeah.
But how do we tie that all together?
Yeah, I think a lot of my work has been bringing mental health into other spaces. So, as a therapist, sometimes we're used to people coming to us, to our office, or in person or virtual, and we do the work there. I've been fortunate and blessed enough to bring mental health themes and practices to other spaces, to the financial world, to athletic world, to the media, to wherever. And in doing that, it's helping people to one be more self-aware, having some clarity about, oh, why am I feeling the way I feel, or why am I making these choices? Connection has really, really been about relationships and the types, how to have healthier relationships, healthier friendships, healthier business relationships, healthier romantic relationships, and which I remember the third C. What was that? Carrie?
Courage.
Courage. Yeah,
Yes.
and it takes a lot of courage to really face yourself, right? Like
Yes.
I sometimes don't always give it the credit it deserves for people because I'm
Mhm,
just in it all the time, being
mhm, mhm,
vulnerable, being open, and like reflecting, even though it's hard. But it's a lot of courage to deal with your stuff. It's a lot of courage to say, like, yeah, this is not going right or the way that I thought. So I think all
mhm,
those things have been integrated into my work in ways that just flows for me now.
mhm, mhm,
But I tend to try to recognize that that's not normal for everybody.
mhm. Right. Right. It's not normal for everybody, which is interesting too because the stuff that is normal to you that's not normal to somebody else. You're like, well, what's wrong with them? And we're all different. We all respond differently. And trying to understand that
Yeah.
can be a process too.
Yeah, and once again, because it's normal to me because I've been in this for like 20 plus years. Like
Yeah.
it's been a major part of my life. Just like somebody can like, look at a, a profit and loss statement and know, or a balance sheet, and know if the business is good or not really quickly.
Mhm.
I'm like, I gotta go ask for help
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah.
right? But the people who've been doing it for a while, that's normal. Or
Yeah.
the people can know, like, hey, like you been doing those sit-ups the wrong way. Well, that's because
Mhm.
that's normal for them, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so just understanding what's normal for me because of the time I've spent in it might not be
Yeah.
normal for other people.
Right. The other part I like is that of you taking the mental health into other spaces. I find that a lot of times jobs are about building the worker to do the job, but they're also still trying to survive life, right? So when you go into a different space, you can kind of put balance on it of how to also do the job, but also make sure you're taking care of yourself. Because the minute you're gone, they're always saying, oh, they're going to find a replacement for you. So really making sure we're engaged in self-care and addressing any frustrations, because those numbers, if they stop adding up after a while or you keep missing it, you can
Yeah.
go off on somebody. Everybody's anger management, it's not top tier. We're all striving to do good in that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not it's a hard reality to know that you can really be replaced, right? In lots of different ways.
Mhm,
Now,
mhm.
the essence of who you are as an individual or what you bring, yes, that's not going to be replaced.
Mhm,
But yes, we can hire somebody else,
mhm.
and sometimes that's the pressure that we feel to be perfect or to
Yeah.
show up a certain way.
Ooh.
And oftentimes when I am going into these organizations, companies, spaces, is recognizing that the more you actually take care of your people, you
Mhm,
create an environment that's psychologically safe. When you
mhm.
create an environment that's psychologically safe, then people actually can be more productive, more
Mhm.
creative, more connected, or even loyal to the
Yeah,
organization. But you got to treat them as someone who needs to be cared for and give them space to take care of themselves.
I like that. We recently had an active shooter training at my job, and the trainer was
Mhm.
sharing how, wanting you to ensuring that you are safe. You're like not going to the windows, going into this area and things. He was like, we can replace a computer, we can replace him, but we can't replace you. And I appreciated the
Yeah,
emphasis that he put on that, because some people could be like, save yourself.
right.
Okay, but he was really saying like make sure you're going to a place where you can be protected, you can be, away from the people. Don't go out to the lobby area when somebody is like doing things, because something can happen. So I appreciated that. And as you shared, when they do that, it's like, okay, y'all do appreciate us being here. I
Yeah,
got
I'm
that.
seeing. I mean,
Mhm,
like, I think that's and you know this from like the work too. Like I think so many of us just want to be seen.
yeah.
Like treat me like
Mhm,
I'm valuable. Treat me like I'm as valuable as you are. Treat me that
mhm, mhm.
I'm important. And if you treat me that way, if I'm feel seen, that goes a long way with how I
Yeah.
show up at work, how I show up in
Mhm,
the community, how I show up at home,
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so good. So good. Okay. We'll get to the next question for you. You recently wrote a book. I give myself permission. I'm very excited, friend. Just I did get it.
No.
I am pacing myself um, because it's getting in my business. Because, like you said, of those areas of needing to be free, not knowing that I needed to release some things, to give myself permission and some things, to do some things, to try some things, to take a risk, to be bold, to be imperfect, because nobody's perfect, right? How did this book come about?
Well, lots of ways, right? One, I think it's the part of the gift that God has given me to help people. Uh,
Hmm.
Two, the pandemic, racial injustice, employment challenges, political things.
Hmm.
I think all those things started to just allow me to see the pain that so many people have been in.
Hmm.
And about 4+ years ago, I was invited to speak at a self care retreat to a group of veterans in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And
Hmm.
they asked me what I was going to title it. And I had some of the pieces, and I just said, I give myself permission because, in the therapy world, we talk a lot of encouraging people around permission.
Hmm.
Like, you don't always have to wait for somebody else to give you permission, or
Hmm.
you can do it. But it was the first time I put those words connected to that talk. And it was
Hmm.
supposed to be 45 minutes. And at the 45-minute mark, they were like, keep going. And it was like two
Yes.
hours in. People were
Wow.
opening up, they were sharing, they were crying, they were like really releasing. And the person said, like, yeah, this is your thing and you need to do it. And it took me a while to really receive it. And then
Hmm.
when I finally did and embrace it, I've been fortunate to travel across the country doing this talk
Mhm.
internationally, and then that led to a book deal. And then in the book, I get to expand some of the things I say in the talk and share it in the book.
Like I said, I had to pace myself. At first, I was like, I'm gonna have this book done before I meet with you, right? And I was like, oh no, because I
Mm.
need to sit with this question. I
Yeah.
need to sit with this. I need to look at the person in the mirror. Uh, and that's a good thing that a book challenges you. I like reading. I read a lot of books, but this one right here, it really stopped me in my tracks a little bit, and I appreciate it of being able to take that moment. I love the questions where you're like, wrapping it up, trying to help you like sum up what you read, making sure you're applying it to your life. Because a lot of times we go to workshops, a lot of times we go to classes, but when we're not taking notes or we're not challenged to regurgitate that which we got, sometimes we can miss something. And one, it's going good. It's going to take me a second to get through. I appreciate that it's going to take a second to get through.
And
Because
it
it
means a
also
lot
talking
that
about some,
you're going through it. So thank you.
yeah, yeah. Then the part was talking about the root because we think that something just happened overnight, and it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that's part of what I'm hoping in the book is like the name and can make it feel like I give myself permission. Yeah, I give myself permission and I'm gonna keep moving. And yes, that's a part of like getting like I often even in the talk want people to get used to saying it, but it is a process because I'm hoping that people will recognize what I'm really asking you to do in the book is to really challenge your narratives.
Mm-hmm,
How did you get to the place where you feel you need to be perfect? How did
mm-hmm,
you get to the place where you're saying no before the question's even asked?
yeah,
Or how did you get to the place where taking that risk for yourself or to start the business or to spend time, quality time with the person you love,
mm-hmm,
it's so hard for you?
yeah,
That narrative is what we got to wrestle with so you can
mm-hmm,
give
mm-hmm.
yourself permission.
And it's so hard. One part you shared, about your mom and how we see our parents and we look up to them and we follow them and we mimic them essentially sometimes, as we grow up. And how did it work for you to kind of change gears where you could give yourself permission to try something different? And I get it. Our parents are they sacrifice. They do everything, they can to make sure we're covered, forgetting about themselves often. And the moment that they do have for themselves, we feel like they should have more moments for themselves. And it's not until we become an adult that we're appreciative of all the sacrifices that they did. But even in that, we still want to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor as well, so we don't get burnt out.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much I value and appreciate all that my parents did for me, and especially as an adult and as a parent, I'm like, I have no idea how they did everything, and I try to weave them in the book for many reasons. One, I'm grateful for them and what they gave and their sacrifice.
Mm-hmm,
Two, both of my parents have passed and they're not here, and this is my way of honoring them. And
mm-hmm,
and I fully believe that they would be proud of what I've been able to do because of their sacrifice and their foundation.
mm-hmm.
And so like part of it is also recognizing the beauty of what they gave me, but also the hardship that my
Yeah.
mom worked so hard and cared for so many people and was active in the church and struggled to give herself permission
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm,
travel, permission to go back to school, permission to take a break. And I wanted people to know that I've seen that, and as a result, I have to work really hard at those
mm-hmm,
things because
mm-hmm.
it's so natural because that's what I saw.
Yeah.
I can work hard easily.
Yeah.
That's not I don't have to do anything extra to work hard, but I
Mm-hmm.
gotta really put in some effort to make sure that I'm taking care of myself in all these ways because that's just not what I saw.
Yeah. I will say that for sure resonated with me because I feel like in the last couple of years, I've been more intentional of taking moments to focus on Jennifer. Sometimes you're just trying to please the world. There are some things growing up that my mom would do. I was like, I'm definitely not doing that. She would take in the masses. I was like, because they would come in and act like they ain't had no sense. They didn't want to
Right.
leave. That's not my ministry,
Eat up
right?
all the
Um,
food, right.
yeah,
Come on,
all
you
the
know how much
food,
that costs?
take up my mind time. I felt like I was the only child. I had siblings, but it was me and her. We was locked in, and y'all coming in, y'all messing up.
Right.
But prioritizing the importance of taking off. There's no, I heard somebody say the other day, there's no reward for having the most PTO time.
Mhm.
Take your time, take a minute off, refresh yourself, get what you need. I take a moment to sleep in. They'll be like, "You're busy." Yes, I am. Today is a lazy day. And it took me a while to get there because I will rip and run, going a gazillion different places. And sometimes those people didn't go a gazillion different places for me.
Yeah.
But I
No.
also realized that you'll get it back from somebody else. But I also had to like slow Jennifer down before Jennifer burnt out.
Yeah, it's so important, right? Like, look, I think you know, and I know that like it's important that we work hard in various things, and we have done that. We've gotten
Mm-hmm.
the degrees, we've gone to the
Yeah.
internships, we've put in the hours, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like we just like woke up and say like, oh, let's do nothing all day, every day. But I
Yeah.
think our culture, our society makes us feel like we have to be at 100 all the time, right? And not
Mm-hmm.
really take those moments to recharge, to refuel, to
Mm-hmm.
just connect.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself, like, like I was fortunate enough to go speak at a leadership retreat in Honduras this past weekend. And the
Yes.
next day, I also slept in. I
Mm-hmm.
also I went to the spa. I had
Mm-hmm.
great conversation. Like
Yes.
I also was able to enjoy myself while there instead of like normally sometimes I go speak and then I'm right back out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even taking the time after sharing to people to take
Yeah.
time. So I got to practice myself.
Yes. Yes. I like it. I like it. And that's a part of the dopeness of going out to these different speaking engagements. Kudos to you. I'm so excited for that.
Thank you.
Because other people get to see you on that platform and say, you know, I could try too. Just recently, last year, a conference was expert speakers. And again, I felt like the self care piece was always missed, right? They're talking about the structure of policy and things of that sort. And I was like, I think it'd be cool to do like a wellness webinar.
Mm,
So I
yeah,
was like, the most they could say is no, right? I
yeah.
don't know these people, right? And I submitted. And then they started talking about the conference, promoting and stuff. And it was like wellness. I'm like, wellness, and they picked me, you
See,
know. Um,
they
the
pick your
next
idea.
day, the next day I had an email that said, "Congratulations again." I said, "Oh, what?" And it was a risk to take, like to go to
Yeah.
California to be able to present at a major conference and things of the sort. I'm getting the crumbs of you, Dr. James, the
I know.
crumbs.
I love that you do it because that's what and that's the part also of like giving yourself permission is like,
Yeah,
I don't know how this is going to work out, or I
yeah,
don't even know this is where it's happened for me. My own
mhm,
self doubt or my own imposter. I don't know
yeah,
if I'm good enough or someone,
yeah,
but you know what? Let me bet on me. Let me bet on what I believe, or let me
mhm,
bet on all those things and just try and see
yeah.
what happens. And so much can happen when we just try and give ourselves permission to just see, like, let's take that risk.
Well, we just try. Like I was like nervous before it came. Then it came when I was
Oh,
like,
I
"Yes,
know you killed it. I know you did. I know how you are. Look, y'all know if y'all listen to this, y'all hopefully I know host Jennifer here. She's just amazing, and she drops all the gems. Like I'll drop two, and she'll take my two and turn it into like 50. So I know that's how it is.
hilarious, but it was a rewarding experience. And again, just listening to your story and reading, and following you, because again, this was some years ago that I went. Just being able to see to get up the piece of you may stumble, but being in person, but still getting up and trying and showing people that you are human. At the end, one of the little ladies came up to me. She was like, "How old are you? You just seem to have so much wisdom at a young age." And I was like, "Oh, this, but to take that risk to go,
Yeah.
which is humongous and big. And when I heard about this was before hearing about your book too, or around that time. So I was like, why not try and things of that sort? So again, your random phrase of give yourself permission has really soared into a gazillion, a big tree that is planting fruit and dropping fruit everywhere. So thank you again for
No,
that.
thank you, and that means a lot. And I'm so excited when I see and hear that from people because
Mhm.
that's what I want. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I want people to dream big, right? Like that's the thing about my parents. They came from Jamaica to the US with the thought of like, creating a space for me
Mhm,
and
mhm,
and that they had big dreams for myself. And but I have big dreams for the people I interact with, the people I don't even know. I
mhm.
believe in people. And so when I hear that, I'm like, yes, why
Yeah.
not? Why not try it? Why not go after it? Because
Mhm,
at
mhm.
least if anything, it expands. At least you say you went to California, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's so many takeaways from
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I love that you did that.
Yes. Now, as amazing as it is that you're inspiring people, right? By just simply being you, there's still a weight sometimes that come with that, because sometimes you might be like, I don't want to do that today, right? And being a leader and being an example, what helps you to still keep pushing forward?
Yeah, a few things. I think that I deeply believe in purpose, and I feel my purpose is twofold: to be of impact to my family and to be of impact to others. And in particular, I feel like I'm often helping leaders, and leaders are not always folks who are CEOs. Leaders are moms. Leaders are folks in the community. Leaders are multifaceted. But I don't want to just be leaders to the outside and not, I mean, impactful to the outside, not impactful to my family. And so that's what keeps me going. I think also that I remember I've had many amazing people who have poured into me and have been mentors to me that helped me. And so I can remember someone now who's still a friend and helpful when he said, like, he had, when people would ask him to do stuff, he would just say yes. And you just never know. Like, and he would respond back to as many people as he could. He would recognize a request, and that stayed with me. And when you reached out, I'm like, one, I don't think I'm that big of a deal that I should be able to do anything and show up anywhere. And two, like, just hearing the story that you mentioned about LaSalle, I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that. And I'm so grateful to be able to be in a space to hear that. So that's I received something from that. And what if I had said no? I would have missed that. So I think those are the things of just trying to do that. And then on the other side, I'm thankful that I have help to, like, my assistant Joy is amazing. My wife, who has been so supportive, my children, they also help me to keep some boundaries when I need to. So that's also been helpful.
And I ask that because, like, again, we're at the beginning of the year, and people say, like, the year passed, it's a new year, new me, doing this thing of that sort. But sometimes we get into the moment of, can I do it?
Yeah,
Is it okay? So I appreciate you bringing this back to us, remembering our why, connecting with our support system, and encouraging ourselves to keep on going. Because as we say yes, we surprisingly encourage somebody else that in turn encourages us to keep on doing this thing called life.
that's it.
I like it. I like it. Hey, Belinda. Belinda said, taking time for yourself is so important. If you're no good to yourself, how can you truly be good to others?
Fully agree. It's
Sometimes-
so hard not to, but
Mhm,
we forget that, right? We forget that
mhm,
until, like, and we don't realize, like, sometimes when we're pushing ourselves, sometimes even for those people, our family, the
mhm,
work,
mhm,
that we get cranky, we get
mhm,
moody, we get
mhm, mhm,
miserable, and
mhm.
nobody really wants to be around you, even though you feel like you're sacrificing for everybody. They don't
Yeah.
like that. So
Mhm,
go sit down somewhere,
yeah. Yeah.
recharge,
Yes.
and that might help you.
Yes. A recharge is needed. Okay. So in this, I was trying to give ourselves permission. My next question is, I was going to ask, like, what's the first step of us giving ourselves permission, but I'm gonna give them the first step. The first step is to get a copy. Get a copy of this book. I promise. And I promise. Take my word. I promise y'all, this will really help you out. Take your time reading it. Let's have a little chit chat when you do get in and read it.
Yes, please.
But even in that, what would be a next step for us in stepping out and taking a risk as we approach 2026, 12 days in?
Yeah, 12 days in 2026. I think some of it is, sometimes it takes a little bit to realize that we're not giving ourselves permission. And that's the part that I recognize in
Ooh,
myself and others, that the word no is so quick to come up. It'll be like, hey, you want to learn a new language? No, I don't got time for that. Hey, look, can you play the video games with me? No, I got this email to finish. Do you want to cook with me? No. I mean, like, there's so many ways we say no, and we don't realize how much we've really blocked off parts of our life. And we're not giving ourselves permission. We're not even giving ourselves permission to entertain the thought of whatever that is. And so I think the next step is recognizing, oh wow, I've really shut myself down from opportunities. And then maybe after that, I think it's being able to say, well, why? Why have I done that? What have I been telling myself? Well, I'm not taking time to play the video game with my son or grandson. I'm not spending time with my partner. I'm not working on my resume because I don't know if I can. I feel like I'm not smart enough. I feel like people in my life have never had good things happen to them. There is a narrative, a story that shapes that. And if we can figure that part out, then it opens up the whole world and all the possibilities of what you can actually give yourself permission to do.
So much. Ooh, I'm circling back of what you said last. That narrative, right? And sometimes we don't realize that the story has been written and we've just been adding pages and adding negativity sometimes more than positivity. And we've just been embracing it and accepting it and not giving ourselves permission to say, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Or that doesn't serve me, or that doesn't do me good. I don't like that,
Yeah.
And being able to have our boundaries and expectations and all those things to be able to verbalize what you're doing, what you don't like. Some of us get into some relationships and it's not doing us good. And we feel like, well, my mom was in a situation like this. I got to be in a situation like that. No, you don't.
No, no.
We don't have to create continue patterns. And just because our forefathers did it, don't mean that it works for you. The battle of macaroni and cheese. Do eggs go in it? Do eggs not go in it? Whatever actually works for you is what is best,
Right.
But sometimes you'll feel like I got to do it how mama said it. But if you're allergic to eggs, how you going to put eggs in it, sweetie?
Right. And just to be real, like I remember telling myself, like, oh, one of these days I'll be on TV. Right. And what I was doing was and this was 18 years in. And when I look back, I was already on TV for 18 years, but I discounted all of that to say, oh, one of these days I'll really be on TV. And because my narrative was someone like me, or someone who looks like me, maybe I won't really have the opportunity to be on TV because only a certain person that look a certain way will be. I discounted all of that. My narrative was flawed. And I had to give myself permission to accept what was already happening.
Friends, homework. I like to give homework. I want y'all, this is the beginning of the year. Write out how you view your narrative to be, right? And identify the benefits of it, the negatives of it, the things you want to change, the things you want to do more of, the things you need to do less of. Again, if we're trying to give ourselves permission in 2026 to live our life to its fullest potential, we also got to be honest with ourselves to remove things and add in what needs to come in. And sometimes you got to remove some stuff that you love. That person, place, or thing is not doing you good. Let it go. Don't stress yourself out another day, another second, another minute. So that's our first homework.
I love
another
that.
part you shared in saying that no, we miss out on memories and we miss out on moments. And with how the world is, if you live anywhere near the city of Philadelphia, or actually every city, I'm sure has some things going on, but we got some stuff going on here, okay? And it's so important for us to take those moments to play the game with our children, to tell them that we love them, to give them a hug, to tell them how amazing and dope they are, to help build a better narrative. I work with youth, I do groups, and a lot of them are scared. If they ever come past this, they're like, I'm not scared, but we are, because they're trying to survive the best way they know how. But when we take that moment to say, I love you, I appreciate you, let's do this together, somebody is changing their narrative. Oh, I don't got to go out in the streets. I can stay in the house. Oh, you going to give me a job where I can make a couple of dollars the legal way? Oh, I don't got to pick that up. And again, it's so amazing if we just say yes. Yeah. And I'm not saying say yes all the time. I'm not saying to burn yourself out, but really to use some discernment, because sometimes we're missing moments to make a change in somebody's life.
That's it. I love it.
Yeah. I'm just repeating what you said. You talk about the memories of the moment. I'm listening. In that, that's so good. In that, you also have something that you with your family, the relational redo experience. How did that come about? I think that's so dope. In my mind, one day I'm coming, what type of boo thing and things of that sort. But until then, I'm gonna live vicariously through those that attend. Tell us about the relational redo.
Yeah, that actually came from doing so much work with couples, and I just love the thought of people being in a happy relationship, and I know that takes a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And I would often recommend to couples or ask them like, hey, how often are you going on dates? And they weren't. And I realized I could recommend that, but it was another thing that I wanted to create an experience for couples. So I believed I had this idea that was given to me by God, and I was just like, what if I created this immersive date night experience where there was music, there was acting, there was talks, there was good environment, and I put it all together and called it Date Night Redo. But the way how all this stuff like ties in though is that I had the idea for years, but I kept
Mhm.
thinking, oh, I don't know if I could do it. I don't
Mhm.
know if anybody will show up. I kept
Mhm.
saying no to the idea, even though it was in my head over and
Yeah.
over. I
Yeah.
saw it in so many ways. And then I was like, oh, well, I have to have my doctorate first before I can do this. Or I have to have this amount of money before I can do this. I
Mhm.
kept making so many different excuses. And then finally, I took the risk and it was great. I mean, like, yes, there's always iterations, you change and whatever,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it was an environment where people came out, they had a good time. They felt really connected to their spouse, their partner,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they laughed. They learned
Yeah.
and they had a good time. And then they went home and had even more of a good time. And so like I love being able to provide that environment. And now the last one, my children were a part of the actors in it. And so like
Mhm.
this family thing, and it's just been a great experience to provide that.
I love it. And I also wanted to highlight that because one, it's the beginning of the year again. I know Valentine's Day is about the gear, but some of us we hoping we make it to January 13th with their spouses, right?
Yes.
And it's so important to really take that time. Couples get together and feel like that's the end all be all is how it works out. Couples get married, feel like that's the end all be all. But it does take some commitment, effort, work to keep it going. And sometimes people get discouraged and we'll follow these people on social media and on social media, they're showing you all the bells and the whistles. But when those
Mhm.
cameras are off,
Yeah.
when that picture keeps playing out in real life, it's a lot going on. A
It's a
couple
lot.
recently, they just shared they were divorced, and it was like, oh, they were relationship goals. And you got to realize now the relationship goals is what works out for your relationship. Because looking at somebody else, you're going to see something and be like, what? They did what?
Mm.
But to have this moment, to have that redo, that reconnect, I love it. I love it. So how do you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
someone
thank
been
you.
doing it?
So we started in I did a concept to test it out in 2017. Then we did it in 2018. We didn't do it in 19, and we didn't do it in 20 because of the
Mhm,
pandemic.
mhm,
Um, but then we brought it back, I believe, in 21 or 22, and we've been doing it ever since.
I love
So
it.
I think 22, 23, 24, and 25. This year, I'm not sure because every year I got to go out and get funding because the amount of experience that we provide and how much we charge for tickets is,
Mhm,
we give them people more value than what
mhm,
it really than what the actual cost would be. So I'm always fundraising, and
mhm,
and so I need to get some funding to be able to put it on this year. Hopefully, I can.
mhm, mhm.
But it's definitely been a joy to be able to provide that experience for couples. And we call it date night redo because it's a redo to your typical date night.
I like it. I like it. Oh, I love it. I love it when people are pouring into others and encourage them to keep on going. Because it's so important once you are connected with somebody who you talk to. Because sometimes people can help you go the other way, separate, try something different, and you got to find out what works for you and
Yeah,
your mate.
yeah,
People get in the comments all the time, be in your business, but whatever works for you and your mate, and to be able to reconnect with a loving atmosphere that's really encouraging you, uplifting you, and you see other couples that's like, look, we in this for the long haul too. We said to death do us part too, and y'all working it out. Cool, cool, cool. Very nice. I'm excited for it. I keep my ear out for y'all fundraising so I can support the cause. It's
oh,
good
thank
work
you.
you doing. Good work. Okay. So, what words of wisdom as we come in the rest, and I gotta let you go. I'm so sad. Um, but what words of wisdom would you give us as we too work to navigate success and nurture happiness? I was all on your website. So, what words would you
Yeah.
help us to navigate success and nurture happiness as we go into this new year, giving ourselves permission?
Yeah, some of the things that I'm trying to practice myself, right, is every moment, every next step, take time to to celebrate and to
Mhm,
honor it, and to recognize that you did that thing, and
mhm,
not there's someone who didn't. And I think if we can honor and slow down and appreciate that moment, then other people see us. Like for instance, the book came out. I was so excited about it, but I was also trying to think about the next thing. I was trying to think about
mhm,
how many books can be sold, or what do I have to where I have to go next. And I
mhm,
had to tell myself to just slow down. And yo, this is a big deal. Like you've been talking about this for a minute, and now
mhm,
it actually happened. And I'm thankful that I have a good community, good folks who love me, that really were also able to celebrate with me. And that meant the
Yeah.
world to be able to hold on to that moment. And
Mhm,
then
mhm.
after you celebrate, then you move on to the next thing
Yeah.
and you continue to strive. So do the thing, celebrate, then move on, have some good mentorship, and
Mhm.
really be able to make sure you stay grounded, because we can take one thing and it can get to our head real quick. And so you need to have the people and support that will keep you grounded and remind you of your why.
Mhm,
And,
mhm,
and along the way, just continue to give yourself permission to one, go after it, but
mhm.
also give yourself permission to celebrate, give yourself permission to get help and support, and give yourself permission to stay grounded.
So good. Honoring the moments and celebrating successes is really big. Uh,
Yeah.
Sometimes we look over the simple things. You save $5. That's a big thing because it could have been where you weren't saving $5. You got to
Right.
celebrate those small wins,
You owed
those
50
big
last
wins.
week.
I understand. Look,
Right.
you got to celebrate. You never know. And also, again, if just Jennifer over here letting you know you did a good job. I can't,
Thank you.
I'm excited to get to the end, but I'm also just excited for the process and journey that it's taken me on. I appreciate you being vulnerable. It's a vulnerability to share your business and things of that sort, but also the humanity of showing if I could do it, you could do it too. These are some steps that could support you. These are some ways you can navigate that. Um, so I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very excited to go on this journey of giving myself permission, not just 26, but
There
beyond.
you go.
And in different areas.
I love that. No, that means a lot. Your words, you're not just Jennifer. I tell you that this means a lot just to hear that you have the book, that you've read the book, that you're applying it. That means a lot to me. And so,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to then see what you'll add. I hope that you'll add a review,
Yes,
and
I
I hope
will.
that you will, share your permission stories, all of that. I'm
Yes,
looking forward to
yes,
that.
yes, for sure, for sure, for sure. So, friends, how can we buy your book? We go to your website, right?
You can go to my website, georgetalk.com. There's a part that says uh, IGMP, I Give Myself Permission book, that will lead you to a place. It's also available everywhere:
Yeah.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, or your
Yeah.
favorite like independent bookstore. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And also, you can find me on Instagram or LinkedIn. It's at George Talks. That's another way to just connect with me
Yes.
if you wanted to hear more about the book.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Friends, we do our weekly when we have a guest, we do share guest recommendations. So in that, when you go to my link tree, the first link will show all recommendations from past guests, but the first one will be Dr. George, where you'll be able to click on a link to go to his website. Click on like I put the Amazon link. All sales are good wherever you go. Actually, we
Right.
appreciate you.
That's right.
And also just to look into the relationship redo because I think it's an amazing thing that he's doing over there. If you know some couples that just want to keep the fire going. If you're struggling, not struggling, wherever you find yourself, sign yourself up. I promise it'll be encouraging for your relationship.
Oh, thank
So
you so much.
another question for you. This is a new year here. Being a male African American therapist, I shared about how important that is. I'll never forget one time I went to a client's house when I first was starting, and they were like, "Just thank you for coming," because where they lived at, the person prior that was scheduled did not come, and they
Wow.
just felt empowered that I had no problem going into the hood. Hey, we can do that, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
But that I did that to be able to connect with them and to support their family navigating through life challenges and things of that sort. So in that, are you taking new clients? How does that work? Can they go to your website for that too? Because I know you do coaching as well as therapy, as well as some other things.
Yeah, so I am taking on new therapy clients, not as much, and a lot of my schedule is limited because I am speaking and traveling more.
Mhm.
I'm also definitely taking on speaking engagements. Like maybe your company organization is open to hear more about I Give Myself Permission, or you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I would really love that for my team or organization. Hey,
Mhm.
please let me know. And then if I can't help or support you, especially therapy wise, I got lots of great colleagues, especially if
Yes.
you're like, hey, I'm looking for a Black therapist or
Mhm.
Black
Mhm.
male therapist. I know
Mhm.
some really great uh, folks who are therapists and are phenomenal, and I can easily connect and refer you.
I love that. I love that. Oftentimes people reach out. So I'm definitely using it as a resource as well, because sometimes they do want the mail or different things. And I'll pull out my soapbox because another thing you said was mentor. I didn't write it down, but I remember now when you said therapist. There's possibilities that you will find somebody and you not connect right away, right?
Yeah.
Could be several different reasons. You weren't ready. They said something you didn't like, but it was what you needed. That doesn't mean you leave them. Or it just didn't work out and things of that sort. If that happens, that is not your get out of jail free card where you don't go back to a mentor or a therapist.
Yeah.
I implore you to find somebody else. Just like you find a mechanic that works great for you, you got to do that with a mentor and a therapist and a coach. Because in this life, sometimes we need somebody. Oftentimes we need somebody.
Yes.
And I want to encourage you that if that first person didn't work out, if you try somebody and said, oh, I tried it, it didn't work, here's the door now to give you another option so that you can explore something that helps you. I give you permission to not give up on yourself and to connect with somebody, because this thing called life can be hard sometimes. So whether a mentor, whether that therapist or that coach, come on, reach on out. There's some people out here that's willing and excited to help you. That's why we went to school for it, okay?
Dropping gems. Like I see, did I tell y'all? Like, I'm just here to co-sign what she says.
I love it. Okay, anything else you want to share with us before you leave us tonight? I thank you again so very much for joining us. I appreciate it. It's an honor. Highlight of my year.
Well, I'm glad, and I'm glad that you got a lot more year to have more highlights. You know, Jen, I just want to say I appreciate you. I appreciate your authenticity. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate how you show up. I appreciate that you I feel your energy, and it means so much. And you are a treasure to me and our community and to the people that you work with. So I appreciate you, and I'm grateful that we had this moment together.
You're trying to make me pull out a tissue. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But truly, I do thank you. Again, just so honored. I can't tell you how excited I was. I was like, I had to calm myself down and things like that, because again, to see some people doing some amazing things that you look up to, that are paving a way for you. One of my friends that's in the chat, she's currently in school to be a counselor and therapist. Friend, follow Dr. George. He's doing some amazing things. Get yourself a book too, so you can help your clients get permission and things of that sort. So again, I do truly thank you so much for joining us. Again, friends, be sure to go to his Instagram or LinkedIn at George Talks. You can also visit the website, georgetalks.com. Again, if you go to my bio on Instagram, either Chosen Counselors or Jen Cares, the first link does show recommendations, and you'll see Dr. George's picture on the first image, and it'll give you all the information to follow and get some information. Friends, I got a challenge. If you're getting the book, let me know. If you want the book and you can't afford it, let me know, and I'm a sold into your life, because it's really a good book. Now you better use it, because I'm gonna make you be a part of a book club if I get it for you, to make sure we're really giving ourselves permission.
Hey, look, if you do a book club and you want someone to pop in as a guest, just let me know.
Yeah, friend, sign up for my book club. We read, I give ourselves permission.
That's it.
Serious though, but yeah, that's so dope. I love that. If they come through, I promise I will sponsor a book. If somebody wants to like really chat about it, because that's how it works too. Because you'll read it and they'll be like, I don't want to take too long to go back to the next chapter, because I want to keep on challenging myself. So again, thank you so very much. This is dope. You made my day. Thank you, Dr. George.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yes, man. You have a great evening.
You too.
All right. Oh man, friends, that was amazing, Dr. George James. Yes, I didn't. This made my day. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. It was really good. I really do recommend I give myself permission. If you would like a copy, send me a message. I promise I will order it, send it to you, and we can chat about it, because it's about really helping us to be a better version of ourselves. At the end of the day, I reflected like, how did I do? Could I have done better? How could I have done better for my own self, not just helping other people? So again, you want a book that challenges you to do that, and this is in that book. Don't forget our quote of the day. When we give ourselves permission to fail, we at the same time give ourselves permission to excel. When we give ourselves permission to fail, we at the same time give ourselves permission to excel. Because guess what? We may or may not fail, but we got to try. And I believe in you. If you take that risk, if you go ahead and give yourself permission, you could blow your mind. I shared with you about Swagger having their intentional women collective. Be sure to check that out. They're doing some amazing things over there. I also want to share how I gave myself permission. I did another journal. It is released. It's a planner journal. It helps you to be intentional about the boss girl in you. So whether you are trying to get your finances together, attain some goals, I got some 30-day challenges in there. We always give you some resources if ever you needed to talk to somebody, because life be life, and okay. The feedback I've been getting has been overwhelming. I am truly, truly grateful for each and every one of you that have supported and purchased a Boss Girl Planner Journal. We done mailed some out to Florida. We got some in Delaware. We got some in Maryland, here in Philly and Pennsylvania. I appreciate each and every one of you. We also do have our hoodies. We have our I Don't Have the Capacity hoodie. We have our Check on Your Friends hoodie. And we have our limited edition Let Me Ask God First. Different things that come to my mind that help us to be who we are. Okay, that's all I got for y'all. I got to go read a little bit more of my book, okay? I love y'all for real. Until next time, have a great evening. Oh, wait. Next week, join us as we will have, here we go, Coach Janae. We're talking about from reflection to intention. So join us next week. It's going to be amazing here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there. All right, until next time, love y'all.
Thanks for joining Jen Cares this week. Special thanks to our sponsors, Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors, guests, and viewers. Such a good conversation. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you found value in today's show, we'd appreciate your sharing it with a friend and dropping a comment down below. Until next time.